So I believe we're live. We're recording. Can you see it?
Yeah, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
in.
Are
Yeah,
you
yeah,
here? Are you there, man? Are you
yeah. I
there?
think so. Yeah, that
It
beautiful.
says it's recording in this corner here,
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
so
I'm
it's all
back.
right.
I'm in. I'm in.
You're
Yeah,
in, you're in. All right, all right. Hello and welcome to Don't Call Me a Diva, the podcast. My name's Scalzi. This is Josh. We are two fellas that have a crazy, insane, passionate love for women's wrestling. We're here to promote it. We're here to talk about it. And we're here to show women wrestlers love and respect. So hello, Josh. How you doing, my friend?
so good, mate. I'm so good. And you see, the representation of women's wrestling is all around.
Oh, mate, I feel guilty now because I'm wearing a Swoggle t-shirt, man.
Hey,
I'm wearing a Hornswoggle
what's
t-shirt.
that? What's down below in that t-shirt?
So it's just a Swoggle one, but you can see my epic toys ball in the background, man. So do you know what I mean?
Oh,
Legend wrestler. So
loving the setup. Loving the
man,
setup.
it's not bad. It's not bad. I've got a lot more, but I can't get everything out. New house and all that. But
Yeah.
what have
Powerful.
you been watching this week, my friend? Have you?
What
Because
have I been
wrestling's
watching?
been exciting, I think.
Oh, what have I been watching? Guardians of the Galaxy 3. No. But back to,
No,
back to
mate,
this.
how no, no, tell me what was Guardians like first?
Yeah, top tier movie. Yeah.
Top
Anyone
tier.
watching? Yeah, okay, go see Guardians 3. It was banging. You probably can't see it. I've actually got the popcorn tin. It's hidden because full geek merch mode. But Guardians 3, if you haven't seen it, it's in cinemas now, go check it out. But what have I been watching in the world of wrestling? Everything. Everything.
We've just been
Like
talking about this.
too much. No, there's never too much in the world of professional wrestling. But obviously, because the podcast being Don't Call Me a Diva, I've been focusing more on the women's professional wrestling side of it. There's been so much good stuff this week. And I've got my match of the week, and you already know it because we spoke about it. But
Yeah, man.
people watching this, people listening to this, they have no idea what my match of the week is.
No idea at all.
So I'm going to be urging people to go and check that out when we get to it. But what about you? What have you been watching? What has stuck out for you this week?
I just on a sort of like pop culture note, me and my wife are currently watching Lucifer, A-class TV series, man. I sort of like I sort of gave up after 3 episodes when I first watched it back in the day, but top class, like high level TV
Yeah,
series. I
yeah.
mean, Chloe Decker, man, she is such a incredible human being to want to be going out with the devil. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So major respect, but. Everything, man. Do you know what? I was just saying a second ago. I think I oversaturated myself with wrestling in a lot of ways this week. So I've literally watched anything and everything that has been available for me to watch in the wrestling world. Possibly dodge some of the Japanese stuff or some sort of the more Mexican stuff, but everything that's what I would say North American based wrestling, I've pretty much watched. Yeah, it's been one of them weeks. A
A lot.
lot. I'm
When you were
talking.
reading off your list earlier and you got your book out and you were like this, yeah. So basically, I've been watching, and I was like, man, that's a lot. You've been watching so much, you couldn't remember what you've been watching. Just
Oh,
off
mate.
that note, you just mentioned the Japanese stuff. Best of Super Juniors. I know
Yeah.
it's women's related, but the Best of Super Juniors started yesterday. The day one was free on New Japan World.
Yeah.
There's some awesome stuff on that. I mean, one match to look out for that I wasn't that bothered about was Kushida and Doki.
Oh,
Great match. So it's free, people. So go back and listen to day one, watch day one Best of Super Juniors because it was top tier. Yeah.
To be fair though, when it comes to sort of like Japanese and Mexican based stuff, I think it's always top tier. It's like I always say to people, go and watch CMLL, the other Mexican brand apart from AAA, and that's all of their stuff is free on YouTube. Um, and I think the great thing about the artistry, I always use that concept because that's what wrestling is. It's fundamentally an art, okay? Is that it's very different to a North American wrestling. You've got Japanese wrestling that's hard hitting, all right, and they have a strong style, very much like British wrestling, I would say, in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And then you have lucha, and lucha is an art in itself. I think it's more than wrestling in
Oh,
that
it's beautiful.
sense.
When it's perfected. Now, I'm never going to be a lucha wrestler, so I have no backup to tell me what's perfect and what's not.
Exactly.
Saw
Yeah.
something recently that was probably a bit overdone, and it's okay. I don't mind it, but when it's perfect and it's seamless, it is beautiful to watch.
It's like a choreographed ballet. That's the best way to say it.
Perfect. Hashtag that.
Choreographed ballet people, but
Make a note.
but I think that it's been mad for me. So I watched WWE Raw. I watched NWA Power, which again, very underrated show. People, you need to watch it. Their world champions called Camille, one of the greatest. I'm going to say this honestly, and I'm going to throw this out. One day, if she ever leaves NWA, she'll go down in history. She is that good. She's Jade Cargill good in that sense. She is China good. She is that good. What else did I watch? I
On that
grabbed.
note, sorry to interrupt you.
That's fine.
Camille was down here locally.
Recent.
Yeah, 17th of April. She was performing. So, don't know if the listeners know, a few people that know me, I live in Bournemouth, so way down on the south coast. We've got a seaside town here called Weymouth.
Yeah, I know Weymouth.
The Weymouth Pavilion, and UPW, so Ultimate Pro Wrestling.
Did you see her?
I didn't go.
Oh man,
it was like my birthday weekend, and I'd had plans that weekend.
Oh no.
And I think
Was Tom Latimer there with her as well?
LA Taylor versus Camille. If I'm right, yeah, gutted. I think Nina Samuels may have been involved as
Love
well.
Nina Samuels,
UPW, top talent, but they're back. They're coming back to Yeovil very, very soon. Camille's not on the card, but Nina Samuels is, and it's a top looking card. So I'm going to head over to Yeovil for Ultimate Pro Wrestling. But yeah, Camille was like 20-minute drive from my house.
Oh,
like,
mate. Was Tom Latimer with her as well? Was he wrestling on that card?
Yeah, I think he was actually. Yeah. I would imagine they would have travelled together anyway.
Just to add though, from a British wrestling perspective, Tom Latimer, top wrestler, Lancashire born. He was in TNA as Bram. So if absolutely amazing wrestler in my perspective, TV champion NWA, but very underrated show. People need to get on there. And I watched Impact because I'm an Impact boy. I'm a Mark. Okay, but Impact in that sense, TNA Impact. Cracked on with AEW. Haven't caught Rampage yet, but I need to catch Rampage because I think last night was there was a very important match on there I wanted to watch. A former NWA and TNA champion was on there against Tony Storm.
I haven't yet watched.
I think it was Alison Kay. I think her name is. It's totally blanked out of my brain.
That's killer because normally I would watch Rampage first thing in the morning, but you know, housework and chores to do, so missed out on that. And I didn't add it to the list of what I've watched because what I've been doing, my list of what I've watched is preempting what I know I'm watching.
Yeah,
and I missed out Rampage completely. And I think because I saw the results, because it's taped immediately after Dynamite, I didn't put it on my list of things to do. But yeah, okay. Yeah.
Rampage is my sort of like I've decided to try to be fit today, and I'm going to do some sit-ups sort of like show. So I always say that. I mean, what else? I'm Ring of Honor, man. And do you know what? I'm going to say this honestly. Wow, what a show from beginning to start. I think it was top tier. The women's wrestling was top tier wrestling, and it's got some up and comings. Me and my man are passionate about. So I mean, do you want to crack on with that? So let's talk about Ring of Honor's matches. I think the matches we said we were going to sort of like look at. So I've got my notes on my floor because my desk isn't quite big enough. But the matches we were going to look at, we're going to look at Athena Sky Blue, okay, and then I think we're going to look at probably a tag team, man. But they're not. She wasn't tag team. Robin Renegade versus, is it the Vixen? Yeah, is it Vixen? What's her name? Yeah. So I'll pass it over to you. So Athena Sky Blue, man. Let's just chat about that. Let's talk about that first. First of all, context. Ember Moon is Athena. Okay, if people aren't sure who this is, if you're a WWE guy, all right. And Ember Moon was amazing. She was released by WWE, went to Warrior Wrestling, did a good little stint with the indie crew, was signed up, was on a load of AEW Dark. And then Tony Khan fell in love with her, and she's leading forward Ring of Honor. I'll hand it over to you, my friend.
Yeah, Ember Moon, very unlucky in a WWE NXT run. In a WWE run. Ember Moon in NXT was a top tier talent when she won the NXT Women's Championship. Top tier. I bought merch. I bought her figure, the NXT figure. It's in my glass cabinet behind. A huge fan. She was unlucky when she got to the main roster with injuries. Injuries obviously then leads to booking mishaps, put it that way. You can't write that into someone's career path. But obviously leaving WWE, refinding the confidence that
She
you
says
have.
that in a Renee interview, man. She
Uh,
needs to rebuild her confidence. She wasn't sure if she was going to go back to wrestling,
yeah, yeah.
and so
And as a non-wrestler but a wrestling fan, it's clear to see if you're not inside the squared circle week in, week out, or day in, day out,
yeah,
you're
definitely.
going to lose confidence. If I wasn't going to my day job every single day, I'd lose confidence in myself. So we should allow these superstars, these people that we idolize, the time to recover from trauma
Definitely.
and then re-find yourself. And you can only do that with confidence. You really, really can. But heading into that Ring of Honor match, then Sky Blue, okay, and we touched on this on the podcast before, so episode 1, and we touched on it off air earlier on. I was struggling a little bit with Sky Blue, even though I think she's a great talent. She's got this look. I think she's got everything to be a big player in the professional wrestling industry. But I was just missing something from her personality.
Yeah, definitely.
Attitude. I was struggling to sort of what side of the fence is Sky Blue on. The promo that you hit on that she did on Athena in the build up to the title match changed that. She stood out more. But what made her stand out more was this match. Wow. I didn't think that Sky Blue and Sky, if you're listening, please be listening. If you listen to this, please don't take this the wrong way. This was the best match that I've seen from you across AEW Dark and in Ring of Honor. And you fully deserved that. Was it main event? I think it was the main event.
It was the main event, yeah.
Yeah, it was. You deserved that main event spot on Ring of Honor. The way you took that powerbomb on the stairs, you both hit each other's finishing maneuvers. Both kick. Okay, spoiler alerts. I've got to give that a warning. Both kicking out of each other's finishers. But the way Sky Blue hit the eclipse,
Yeah.
it was amazing, and Athena took it so well. But mate, like just match of the week for me. And I've come in early with that, and I've watched a shit ton of wrestling this week. But Sky Blue Athena, match of the week for me. So if you're not paying for the $7.99 on the Ring of Honor app, you need to be doing so just for this match.
Not a Ring of Honor advertisement, but they also have 2,500 other matches on that app. It is. Do you want to know the honest truth? Out of all the wrestling apps currently, via maybe Impact Plus or whatever, it is probably the best in the sense of grind. So for me, I found the match everything you need. Okay, you had a veteran and you had a rookie. Okay, and everything. I kind of felt it was Athena led, and I think it was the best thing to do for Sky Blue. And this is where eventually she will jump up to that level of being championship level. And as we talked about just before we started the podcast, it was that promo where she was calling Athena a bully, and it was like that moment was, girl, you've got this. You have got this. You have the ability to also be creative as well as being great in the ring. And I think that's really, really important. It's especially within the current state of wrestling. I think you need to be very creative as well as being great in the ring. We are just talking about Jungle Boy Jack Perry, weren't we, about this?
Yeah.
And I think Athena is an artist. Athena is an artist. She's a Dungeons and Dragons fan. She loves her nerdy comic book stuff. She makes her own gear. So she is creative. You're putting her with somebody that is very creative and has made that match an art piece. So there was a moment where it was quick roll up, Athena lobs.
Love that. Teddy bear rolls. Yeah.
Exactly, teddy bear rolls. And it was just brilliant. It was brilliant. And it was basically both of them were working so well together. It was artistically brilliant. I think this is the thing about it is Athena has the ability to mock you in the ring as well by taking Sky Blue's moves and slightly changing them up, sort of like to make it more herself. And Ian Riccaboni and people like that were like sort of like going, they love how she's passionate and she shakes you around and beats the crap out of you afterwards. Okay. And the Code of Honor, if you're not a Ring of Honor fan, check it out. It's a major part of Ring of Honor. It's one of the most important elements. It's the respect of the ring, respect of the squared circle. And Athena shows that at the beginning, never shows that at the end. But I wouldn't say this is my match of the week, but it's definitely up there. And I think it is such a positive start for Sky Blue because I was working out. I think she must be 70 matches in at AEW. I think it's
Yeah,
it's got to be 70 matches in, and she's wrestled against everybody pretty much, and she's been squashed quite a lot and stuff like that. And it's a shame, but you have to go through that process. You have to learn.
Yeah.
But going against Athena and the standard of quality of this match, I wouldn't be surprised if she is very, very soon, or not very soon, but at some point in the future, going to be a Ring of Honor champion and probably move into that AEW circle as well as being a champion. That's my perspective.
Yeah, and I really hope so, because I think she's got everything. She's got all the tools in the bag that it takes
100%.
to be, obviously,
100%.
The look is very, very important in every aspect of life, no matter what you think about that statement. It is, because you are going to be front and center of a promotion. Match graphics, you've got to have this look, and Sky has that. I think every person that we talk about on this podcast in the professional wrestling industry has a unique look. Of course, they don't look like a generic creator wrestler on SmackDown versus Raw.
Not anymore. Not anymore. It used to be for a long time.
Now everyone's got charisma. Everyone's got their look, their attitude, and Sky has that in an abundance. And I'm really excited for Sky. So Sky, if you haven't got any merch out, why not? I want some merch. Sky Blue merch.
Famous. And moving on for Ring of Honor as well, we'll move on to Robin Renegade versus the Vixen. And I just want to add this out. Robin had an amazing match against Sky Blue last week in this thing they're calling a proving ground. So Athena pretty much is trying to get everybody to be her standard, and she's fighting a load of people, non-title matches and stuff like that as well for proving ground. So Sky Blue beat Robin last week, but that match last week, Robin Renegade versus Sky, was actually incredible, and that was my match of last week. We talked about this. I said that was my match of last week because it was two young wrestlers going at it. And this match this week, Robin Renegade came out with her sister Charlotte, former NWA tag team champions. They only held the title for one day because they were signing for AEW. So it was a bit of a messy sort of situation from them in that sense. But versus Vixen. And do you know what? I've got to say some information about it because I think she's very important, actually. She's actually had 2 Ring of Honor title matches before, but on indie promotions. Never wrestled on Ring of Honor itself, in the Ring of Honor ring. It's been on indie promotions, a little bit like when the Impact title was defended on the indie promotions and stuff like that as well. And she came in and it was her Ring of Honor debut, even though she's had 2 title challenges. And she comes in and she grabs her butt off, okay? And she comes in and smashes and crashes and takes control of the match from the beginning, Vixen. And you can see in Robin's eyes that, oh, look, I'm still the rookie here. She's been wrestling for a fair old while. But Robin Renegade gets up and fights for her life. There's this great moment where there's a roll-up stunner by Vixen, and Flatliner's also a flatliner was out as well, and Robin jumps it. 1, 2, 3, not quite there, you know what I mean? And it's just showing how the talent that AEW Ring of Honor, and you got to kind of say that, has currently. And Robin finished the match with this great submission, and she's finished and gets out of the ring. And she is now establishing herself as a singles wrestler as well. And I think that's really, really important because she came in there as a tag team, but now she can establish herself as a singles wrestler. I have a viewpoint on the tag team thing, but we can talk about maybe another point, because I think tag team wrestling and women's wrestling is very, very upsetting for me in North America, because I don't think it's promoted as much as it is in Stardom. Okay, because Stardom tag team trios and doubles is high up there. But yeah, that was another match we both said we were going to watch. Did you see that match as well?
I didn't, and it's purely time restraints.
Yeah.
On catching up with absolutely everything. But I feel like I've seen it now that you've explained that to me. But I will be going back to Ring of Honor, and I will be catching everything that I have missed. Obviously, I wanted to highlight as much women's wrestling as possible this week. which brings me on to something that I watched this week. I've been rewatching some of the Progress chapters, the original Progress,
yeah,
and obviously so good, like just perfect. But something I watched this week, I can't quite remember the actual name of the chapter unless I've got it in front of me. I think it was like chapter 96. I might be wrong, which was True Friends Stab You in the Front. And I watched Tony Storm versus Danny Luna.
nice.
It was quality. And Danny Luna she's been around a long time, right? A long time. But there's not been anything like major to note. I don't think, unless I've missed it. So anyone watching, listening, let me know if I've missed something with Danny Luna. But there's a main event talent there, like, and I'm talking on the grandest stage. I want to see more Danny Luna. So the reason I watched this is I was just going back for an old Progress. Didn't stumble across this match, but I thought, well, I'm going to highlight this on the podcast. So what I'm saying to everyone that's listening, I want you to just tweet in or just comment below on your thoughts on Danny Luna. Where have you seen her perform? Just give us some more information on Danny Luna.
Was she not on NXT UK?
May have been, because obviously we've seen like Lizzie Evo on NXT
and Candy Floss and stuff like that.
Yeah, Candy Floss on the odd show, taping back-to-back tapings. We may have seen it. Danny Luna may have been. I don't think she was assigned.
I'm just googling it as you've said it, man. Because
correct me if I'm wrong, but that match for Tony Storm, and I think it was chapter 96. I can't quite remember every.
Yeah, she was on NXT UK.
Was she contracted to NXT UK?
I think so. I'm just double checking, man.
I don't remember seeing her featured enough.
For Zaya Brookside in there wasn't featured amazing. Oh, she was actually towards the end of it, wasn't she? But she was on there for ages, contracted. Yeah, 2019, 2022, teaming up with Mercedes Blaze. She lost against Rhea. She lost against Samuels. She lost against my girl Piper, one of my favorites of all time. She lost against Kaylee Lee. She's back in Rev Pro now, isn't she? So she's So she last time was it Rumble Revolution or something like that she was in. Yeah. So she's fought big names such as Ginny, Kaylee Lee, Piper, Rhea. So yeah, man. So she's on the scene definitely.
Need to get me some more Danny Luna in my veins because I was so impressed. Obviously, before that time, I'd seen her before, and this is what the podcast is all about, like learning about.
Definitely,
it's so easy for us to talk comfortably about what we know and who we know, but actually, when we find a talent that we're aware of, going back over a back catalogue, I find that one of the funnest things to do, and I've been doing that with Julia. I've been doing that massively. Actually, one thing I will say, I don't want to go slightly off subject. I watched Mercedes Moné defend the IWGP Women's Championship this week. Yeah, wow. It was landed on New Japan World. Mate, what a match. Like, it was unbelievable.
Anything that wrestler does is gold. She is. I don't want to say WWE held her back, but WWE held her back. She has left WWE and she's become. She was the boss, but now she is the CEO, as she calls herself. Mate, wow.
Mad. Stardom need to sort their website out because I have been refreshing the terms and conditions page for half an hour because I can't get past it.
Somebody told me that the Wrestle Universe app was pretty good, but I can't. So it's got DDT in it, which man, I love DDT. Do you know what, man? I actually generally enjoy that brand. It's got Noah on, it's got TJPW on there, it's got Grand Pro. I'm just having a look if it's got Stardom, but I can't. Yeah, so it might have it on there, but somebody said that it's got some bits in there. But correct me if I'm wrong. I could be wrong. But I mean, just to say on this night, I know it's not about women's wrestling, but big like Braxton, man, winning the tag team champions at NXT. But he's a Hartlepool boy. So my wife's from Middlesbrough, so it was a big deal when he won that here. So just big up him and Noah. So it's just absolutely incredible. Yeah, absolutely incredible.
Jamie Hayter's from Southampton was again 20 minutes from my doorstep. Like, being able to go to AEW All In and celebrate Jamie Hayter, and she'll be the women's champion come Wembley.
If she's not made, AEW's lost it, but she will be.
Getting to scream my nut off in support of Jamie Hayter at Wembley in August is going to be just a highlight of my life.
Think of it like this, though, man. This is how I think about this. Is last time we had a champion walk into Wembley has never happened because Bulldog walked out. And she'll be the first one walking into Wembley. And I was thinking about this the other day from a nostalgic concept. It's so important. But yeah, man, British wrestling, Rev Pro, Progress Wrestling, all right, and stuff like that is so important because we're seeing now the good thing about it with NXT UK gone. Okay, it sounds bad how I say this. Okay, we are seeing the doors open a lot more. A lot of these guys are out of these 30 grand a year contracts. And they're being able to be in ICW, Progress, the North. We're seeing a lot of the guys come up to the North in Newcastle. And even more exciting, we're seeing Subculture in Impact soon and stuff like that. So there's a lot of positive stuff in that element.
A lot of positive. I mean, a lot of people, I think, were worried when NXT UK had gone and there's not been any word on NXT Europe. But with all due respect, I kind of wanted to stay away, because the scene is booming like it was before NXT UK.
Yeah.
Again. And yes, okay, I don't want to speak out of line for those that love that contract. But for us, the fans, like being able to see you all over the country is the best thing. And that's what makes us fans. Having certain people restricted was difficult because I think the scene suddenly went through a massive change.
I mean, I think NXT UK for a long old while, and I'm saying this as a sort of I call myself a lapsed WWE fan. We've talked about this. I'm an Impact boy. I'm a Ring of Honor boy when it comes down to it. And I think the NXT UK brand was the one that I was more interested in for a long, long time. Because I mean, I was just showing my man Josh a minute ago my Walter rookie card and stuff like that because I loved Walter, but I didn't. The only reason I knew who Walter was because of Rev Pro, because of Progress, because WXW and stuff like that. So this is the important thing. But little man, we're going a little bit off the sort of
no. This is what this is all about.
But I think on this note, it's sort of like Killer Kelly, man. Killer Kelly, she's a European. She's Portuguese, man. She's been to the UK a lot, and she was against Masha Slamovich this week.
I'm going to give one of my friends, followers, a shout out. There's a girl that I've interacted with a lot since 2018, 2019. Been friends. Lives in Ireland, so she goes to OTT a lot. Her name is Sam. So if you're listening, watching, hey Sam. Her love for Killer Kelly is unrivaled. So there's your shout out. You didn't know it was coming. You didn't expect it. But if you can, tweet us your thoughts on Killer Kelly. Send us a selfie. Give us the old selfie of you wearing your Killer Kelly merch, because I've seen it before. Just get involved. But yeah, I just wanted to give Sam a quick shout out because a love for Killer Kelly, which we're going to get onto, I think now, her match this week in Impact with Masha Slamovich. Over to you.
Done, man.
Done. This opened the night, didn't it?
Oh yeah, man. I will be very honest, all right, and you'll get to know me, guys, as you listen to this. I'm in Impact TNA is where my heart is. When they were over in the UK and their tours and stuff like that, I know you went to a few of them as well, man. That is where my heart is, and seeing that women's division glow. I'm going to go a bit Trinity in there. Seeing it glow even more currently with people like Masha Slamovich. And Masha Slamovich, if you don't know who she is, she is a hard-hitting beast. Okay, and Killer Kelly is very, 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 very similar. Yeah. They both come into the ring, and it is an animal-like match. We are talking about hard-hitting. We are talking about beast mode stuff. We are talking about stuff that we only see from Drew McIntyre, Sheamus, and Walter. Okay, all right. And we are talking about the power that both of these are doing. It didn't matter who won this match. There was German suplexes flying out of the way, and it was a great in-ring match. Now, this is how you open up a week-to-week show, in my perspective.
100%. You open it up with a match that is tougher than a $2 steak.
Mate.
Absolute slobber knocker.
And this is the thing. This is what people got to remember. Okay, that this is what Impact Wrestling gives you, right? And this is a major important thing. Sorry, I've got a small guest. Sorry, my son Robin's just popped in. Say hello to Josh. Say hello.
Spider-Man.
You gonna say hello? Hi, good boy. Go and find mum for me, man. Oh, you want to say? All right, you want to hear?
Hi, say hi.
Yeah.
Hey. How are you, Spider-Man?
All right. Go and grab him. Grab him. Oh, you're hungry. All right, give us a little bit, and I'll feed you. So yeah, man.
Hang on, hold on. What's for lunch?
What's for lunch?
Yeah,
I think it's gonna be pasties. I think something like that. I think it's pasties, mate. Pasties. I think that's what they've got.
I'll be there in half an hour, fella.
It's a 5-hour drive, but yeah, go for it, man. Go for it. I think this is what Impact Wrestling offers. It offers this hard hitting sort of like talent, and I think I'm not even gonna lie. I'm not even selling this great because I think you need to go and watch it.
Yeah,
I think you need to go and watch it, and I think on Impact, I think they'll probably release the match in a highlighted reel within the next couple of days. There was a lot of slamming, there was a lot of choking. Killer Kelly did a nice little sleeper. There was a lot of hard hitting. I think Masha Slamovich is probably one of the best hard hitters in the business. I'm saying hard hitting a lot because that's all I can say it is. It's like I remember seeing this video of Sean Spears and Tyler Breeze chopping Chris Van whatever his name is.
Like TVB.
Yeah, exactly. It was, and it was like that. It was like that all the way through. It was just hard hitting, and I'm excited about it. It was everything you want from a match, and I think it was so important because I think everybody online was looking forward to it, and it gave you what you wanted. It was a solid 10 minutes of beast mode. Okay.
And that was good time for a 2-hour show that ran, I think, with 8-9 matches that week. The women opener got 10 minutes, but it was no fucks given. It was
nothing.
It's just so good. Yeah, go watch it.
It was just one of the matches which if you don't watch, I think you're going to miss out on. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to say that I'm going to sell this great because I'm not going to, because it was difficult to explain because they were hitting each other so hard. It's like I was watching an interview with somebody explaining the Gunther, Sheamus, and Drew McIntyre match, and there's loads of middle stuff in there, German suplexes and stuff like that. But everybody just explained it as a major slobber knocker, like slapping about, punching, and that's what it was, and that's why it was good. And I think it's important that we see that within women's wrestling, man.
Well, I will highlight this, and it probably gets us onto our next match, if my notes are correct. This week on Impact, we opened with Masha Slamovich and Kelly, and we main evented this week with the Coven versus Jordan Grace and Deonna Purrazzo.
Do you know what, man? I'm just flicking around looking at my notes for that because that was such a good match, because we've got to remember about Purrazzo and Grace. They've got history. They're not great with each other. They fight all the time. But recently they have actually teamed up in the AAA World Cup with Camille. Yep. 3 top people there, Purrazzo, Camille, and Grace, versus the Coven. And now the Coven is really super important to remember. So Taylor Wilde, the Witch, legend, knockouts legend, first ever TNA Impact Women's Tag Champion as well.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
So very, 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 very much important. And King, great wrestler in general. She has been working the scene for a long old while. She's been in AEW Dark. We've seen her in NWA. We've seen Impact. We've seen Warrior Wrestling. We've seen so much stuff. So you've got these 2 tag teams that hit hard. You've got these 2 tag teams that have lots of technical ability. You have 2 tag teams, okay, that offer so much to wrestling, and they are main eventing. And Jordan Grace and Purrazzo aren't a tag team, and they did extremely well. And the funny thing about it is Wilder's been on Wrestling Inc. and stuff like that this week, talking about tag team wrestling, talking about how the creative team need to be pushing women's tag team wrestling even further forward. And she's a great example. Just a shout out for her, actually. If you sign up to Impact on YouTube, it's £5 a month. And I know people say it's expensive, but what you get is actually really worth it. She has an absolutely amazing podcast on there, all right, where she talks to wrestlers. This week she was talking to Saraya, and it was just an amazing thing where Saraya was actually talking about when she was a kid. I didn't realize this. Saraya actually tried to get a tryout with TNA. Okay, Bully Ray laughed in her face, supposedly, but she said Taylor was one of her heroes back then. It's sort of like they're both gothy girls, but Taylor back then was blonde hair and sort of like. But I mean, it was just one of them things where you saw Purrazzo come in, you saw her take control, and then you saw King take control back. And this is the great thing about Impact. You look at Purrazzo. She didn't have a great time in NXT, okay, but she came to Impact and she became a star. You're an NXT sort of like historian nerd in that sense. She didn't have a great time in NXT, did she? And it was unfair.
Yeah, it was very unfair. Like, we would have seen Deonna like once every 3-4 weeks, and let's be honest, she stole the show during her time in NXT on that once weekly Wednesday episode, and we'd probably see her for like 5-6 minutes, and she was standout. And then, for the life of me at the time, I was like, why are you releasing this one? Why are you releasing this talent? Whether and I won't go into detail on it because this is not what the podcast is about, but during that time, there was the speaking out movement was heavy.
Yeah.
Her relationship
with Macklin. Is it Macklin?
Well,
I don't know who she. I only know that's because that's a fella now, and he's the Impact champion.
We did speak about him off the podcast earlier.
Okay, that's fine. We don't need to go into that sort of stuff.
Yeah, no, we won't. I won't name drop names. Hopefully, most people will be aware, but I can only assume that it was due to her relationship during potentially speaking out movement when she was released. That may have affected her position in NXT, and I hope, obviously, I hope I'm wrong, because whatever's happened has happened for the better for her. She's a main event talent across the world. She's had Triple A title matches over in Mexico.
Rhea do Ray, mate. Rhea do Ray.
Triple A main events almost. Like, it's just, wow. Like, I'm just super happy for her. But at the time, I was questioning it, and I think we all do as wrestling fans. I've released my favorite person like in the world. Why would they do that? 6 months later down the line, you get to see that person on weekly TV doing what they love to do at the top of their game. So 6 months ago, it might have been the worst thing you've ever come across in your life, but yeah, I mean, I'm really happy for her and Jordan Grace, main event players across the world.
I mean, I was watching an interview talking about Jordan Grace. I was watching an interview of her, and she was she was talking in an interview, sorry, and she was talking about how that she doesn't want to go too long in wrestling because of injuries and stuff like that, and she might retire in Impact eventually. And I was like, wow. Now for me, that's a big deal being an Impact man. And surprisingly, in this match, they tagged really well. Really well. And the only thing that you could see in it, you could see that they weren't long-term tag partners or anything like that, because Taylor and King were working the corner. They were splitting the ring in half. There was times when Grace was in the corner at the turnbuckles, and King was tagging in, Wilder's tagging in. They're beating the crap out of her, basically. And that's the only thing you saw within that match, was the inexperience of the tag elements. There was loads of great things apart from that. I mean, we saw Purrazzo hitting everything that she could, and we saw Grace there, and we saw Taylor Wilde doing exactly the same thing. And I think the most positive thing about that match was it was a story building match for the next pay-per-view, because that was exactly what it was about, because we know it's Deonna Purrazzo versus Grace next, and we know that in wrestling storytelling, it tends to sort of like be a natural thing a few weeks before to put them together as tags, see if they can work together.
We've seen it everywhere. We have seen it.
And it worked really well. The match, all in all, was a good match. The Coven did win the title, okay, but it was also story building for this. So this match wasn't about the tag team champions, and it's a shame me saying that. This match was about storytelling, all in all. So basically, the tag team, Race and Perazzo, together, working together. We saw the Coven at the end beat the living daylights out of them. Okay, right? They won the match, then they carried on. Heel tag team, typical heel tag team. And then who did we see run in? Who
She's
did we
amazing.
see?
She's amazing. She's amazing.
We had to see the Glow run in, and the Glow came in and saved the day. And that's what that match was about. But these matches, I want to say, this match had three things for me: technical ability, okay, from Taylor and King tag team. You sort of like we saw them split the ring up, put them in the turnbuckle. We saw how FTR fundamentally wrestles in that element. They worked the psychology of the tag match. We saw the storytelling of enemy and enemy working together. All right. And it also built one more thing with Trinity coming in and saving them. Okay. Because we are long termly going to be seeing a Trinity storyline for this knockout championship. So this wrestling match, we talked about the other two wrestling matches, three matches, maybe technical ability more than anything else. But this match was the classic knockout thing that Trinity talked about last week of storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what it offered. And where we saw the hard-hitting match at the beginning of the pay-per-view and the show, we saw the storytelling match at the end. And I think both these matches were awesome. Have you caught both of them yet?
I've only caught Masha Slamovich and Killer Kelly. Again,
Yeah.
it was the opener, so it was a little bit easier for me to catch. But it is on my list of things to do this week. This afternoon. I've got a lot of time on my hands today. So yeah, I've got so much to tick off today, along with going back to the best of the Super Juniors.
And food shopping and cleaning.
Clothes, food, clothes, everything. Life admin today. Just why have I chosen to do it today? But the football's on later as well, so I'm going to watch the football. So, food shop, washing. I'm going to crack on with just a little bit of housework, sort the games room out a little bit more, play some PlayStation, watch some football. Have the best day of my life. So yeah.
So we've got one more match that we need to talk about, and this match is actually my match of the week. So I don't mind you leading it out on this. It's Julia Hart versus Anna Jay. You go for it, boss. You lead this one.
Oh, mate. Didn't expect this. Didn't expect it. And I'll tell you why I didn't expect it. Because Julia Hart, for me, and this is not a criticism, because I'm not a pro wrestler, but Julia Hart, for me, has just had something missing in ring. Actually, do you know what worked for me? Julia Hart taking the beating of her life from Anna Jay, who, by the way, over the last 18 to 24 months, is probably one of the best women's wrestlers in the world. I can't believe I've said that.
You're throwing that one out, man.
She is holding herself so well. She's a beautiful woman as well, like beautiful woman. So it's very easy for the male population to enjoy what she does, but actually you need to appreciate what she's doing inside the squared circle. She's owning that. If you go back to Anna Jay's AEW debut, she came out wearing the hat.
Yeah.
If you remember.
It was like a magician-y sort of thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, I got I don't know if you've seen it, Dr. Sleep, Rebecca Ferguson.
Yeah.
Sleep, I got Rebecca Ferguson vibes from Anna Jay. Yeah. I was like, I'm into this. But if you go back and watch her AEW debut to her match with Julia Hart this week, you'll see it. She's a veteran in the ring.
Definitely.
AEW. And so clean, so tidy.
QT Marshall trained, aren't they? Both of them. Interestingly enough, Cody Rhodes trained. I think the interesting thing about Anna Jay is they shoved her with the right people that she needed to be with. So Dark Order, perfect. I mean, you look at Evil Uno. He's not many people might know him, but he's a veteran on the scene. You got Grayson, veteran on the scene. Colt Cabana, veteran on the scene. You've even got Silver and Reynolds, veterans. Fundamentally, when it comes down to it, they've been about forever. Not forever, for a fair while though. So she got put with these bunch of fellas where the storyline is she was kind of the mummy for them when it came down to it. Okay, but AEW's done this great thing that I've noticed that they do. When they see a talent, they'll put them with other talents to build.
and that's what they've done with Anna Jay seamlessly as well. The transition from Dark Order to the JAS was like head scratchy at the time.
It was weird, wasn't it? Yeah.
It makes sense, you know. She's with Tay Mello, you know, one of her best friends. I just think
I've still got to call her Conte. Sorry.
I've got a Ty Conte t-shirt actually. No, actually, I haven't. When she was released, don't know if you remember when she got released from WWE, she had this t-shirt on Pro Wrestling Tees, it's a white one, and it's Ty Conte released for real now.
Yeah.
I've got that tee.
That's a cool t-shirt, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Do you know what? I'm gonna put that on my Twitter feed after this show.
Do it.
Yeah, whatever. But anyway, yeah. But you know who took me by surprise massively in this one? As I said, Julia Hart. What was the submission? Oh my god, I've got a mind blank. I can't believe because we're recording. What is the name of the submission hold that she put in?
I wrote it down.
A brutalizer that she put Jay in to win the match.
Yeah, suplex into the Heartless. She calls it, doesn't she?
That's it, the Heartless. Yeah, I mean it's a brutalizer. But I loved it. I thought it looked phenomenal because Julia's got a smaller frame. She wrapped her whole body around Anna Jay, who a bigger frame.
Well bigger.
It just looked great. I thought it looked great. And that was Anna Jay's first win. That was Julia Hart's first win on Dynamite.
I think the fun thing about this is that Anna Jay has gone into these whole bar matches before, and she's legit a hard nut. She is. Yeah. If I'm gonna, she is a gangster, mate. She's hard as anything. And I think my worry about watching this, and I mean, Julia Hart came from the Varsity Blondes. She's a cheerleading background. She worked with Pillman and Garrison really, really well. And I miss them too, to be fair. I miss them too quite a lot. And when she went into the House of Black, it was a ball changer. Being put in there with, I would debatably say some of the better sort of like technical wrestlers and storyline guys such as Brody King, such as Buddy Matthews. Do you know what I mean? Malachi Black's in-ring talent is insane. And his creative talent's insane. So she's been put in there. She's been given a very good education, I think, being put in with these guys. And the reason why this match is my match of the week, and I want to tell you this, I'm all up for Hart. Her name's Julia Hart. I'm not even playing this. The heart in this, when she was suplexed, I can't slammed whatever move, I can't get off my head into them chairs, and you physically saw her hip look like something didn't quite go right then. All right, because she's smaller, she's gonna, their moves are gonna hit a little bit harder. I looked at her and I thought, please, referee, don't call this, mate, because she was hurting at that point, and you can see she was hurting. That chair hitting her hip, that was it. And there was a moment where Anna Jay lost control of the match. There was a split second, and you saw that, and you thought, "Yo, you've got heart. You've got heart." Okay, and that is what I like in a wrestler. When you see a wrestler struggling, and they're like, "This is my craft. I'm going to do this." Dax Harwood does it all the time. Dax Harwood's injured, but it will still push through. And this is what Julia Hart did. And she gets the win with this amazing suplex into the Heartless. That's what it was. And that is why she wins my match of the week. And she wins, actually, do you want to be very honest? She wins my wrestler of the week out of every promotion, because of that ability to have heart and passion in a moment changes absolutely everything. I mean, we can think about pay-per-views where we have seen similar matches to that, okay? Where the wrestler gives up at that point, and they're pretty much like, all right, I'm hurt. I'm going to have to, I'll maybe take 3 or 4 minutes and then I'll go. She didn't. She's young. Okay, she is. I mean, every match that I've pretty much seen has been on AEW Dark. She's got the big match finally. She's got it against maybe one of the top 10 or the top 10 in Ring of Honor and AEW currently on their roster being Anna Jay. It's a big match. Okay, and she proved she had heart. Tony Khan's an interesting guy because Tony Khan is more interested in people with passion and heart than he is with wrestling ability. We've seen people go, for example, Big Swole, great wrestler. All right, she was a great wrestler. There's no debate about that. But I don't personally think she had the heart. I want to see her back in Impact or Ring of or AEW long termly, but she didn't have as much heart, and that is what Tony Khan loves. Tony Khan loves the lass, the lad, whoever that has heart. Riho's another one that has heart, and there's where Julia Hart sits with me. them two wrestlers, and she wins my wrestler of the week. That chair on her hip caned. She pulled out a nice suplex into the Heartless, got the pin, boom. Sorry, I went there for a monologue. That's how
Dude,
passionate
I love that. And Hart, and I love that. I love seeing that. And I'm glad we've decided to make this a video instead of just audio, because we can see it now. But me and you're going to fall out, bro, because you've caught me off guard. Where in my notes have we got Wrestler of the Week?
Oh, darn, man, darn. I apologize for that. I apologize for that. But I added that just then. So,
Dude,
but
it's
but
easy.
yeah,
Though. It's easy though. My Wrestler of the Week is Zelina Vega.
not bad.
And I know we haven't touched on WWE. We're not going to today. We don't need to. But that Puerto Rico crowd at Backlash this past Saturday was one of the greatest crowds I've ever seen. And for that reason, it goes into one of my favorite pay-per-views of all time for rewatchability. Seeing Zelina at home, the passion, the gear, everything, just it almost brought a tear to my eye at 3:00 in the morning last week. I've met Zelina, her and her husband took the time to photo with me, and yeah, one of my favorite photos that I've got, me with Zelina, and Malachi, Alistair, Tommy,
Whatever you want.
big, yeah, just to see her have that moment. She gets Wrestler of the Week for me for that, and I won't go into too much detail about the match.
And do you know what? I want to stop for a second, because the thing about it is you haven't disagreed with me in a sense, because the Vega thing's very, very important, because I think that Puerto Rico crowd deserves audience of the year.
Yeah,
In a lot of ways, because the passion that they gave for Carlito, Vega, when Vega came in, mate, and when he hit that Caribbean kick, oh darn, mate, that got my heart, man. Do you know what? No word of a lie. We watched it in the afternoon. Me and the four kids were all running around the house, Caribbean kicking for like an hour afterwards. That moment there. But Vega came in, and I think that's important to remember. Vega is Queen of the Ring. Okay, she's a Twitch gaming nerd. She's an anime crazed person. She's probably the best dressed wrestler, okay, in the business, in the sense of her gear always means something, and there's a passion to what it means. Majority, like the Sailor Moon outfit she did a little while ago, absolutely brilliant. This, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So I get what you're saying about Vega. All right, I get what you're saying, and in that element, but Julia Hart, man, it was just that moment, it choked me up, man. It literally choked me up. And my wife's looking at me and she's like, why is your Adam's apple going up and down? And I said, do you know why, Matt? Do you know why? Because that's the attitude, that what makes wrestling amazing, and particularly what makes women's wrestling amazing. There's only ever one moment, and I said I'm not a WWE mark, but there's only ever one moment that I've ever felt like this, is when Nia Jax punched, all right, Becky Lynch in the face. And that was that. Whatever happened, accidental, I'm not really bothered. But you saw how hard Becky Lynch was. Okay.
yeah,
and it's exactly the same as I feel about Julia Hart. You saw how legitly hard she was at that point.
Loved it. It's been a great week, isn't it? It's been a great week.
But that's my match of the week, man. My match of the week. But yeah, God, that if she doesn't do something big, I'm going to be gutted with Tony Khan and AEW.
Yeah, we need that follow up from this now. Strike while the iron's hot. And I think sometimes my only criticism with the AEW is they don't do that. We'll have a break now of Julia Hart. We may not see her for 2 to 3 weeks. By that time, the audience has cooled down on it.
Yeah.
I think
that's a creative conversation, though, isn't it? I think, as I said, Taylor Wilde made this great statement. I said to you I wasn't going to talk about it, but I'm going to have to mention it. I think Taylor Wilde made this great statement about creative and women's wrestling, that we need more women in creative in women's wrestling. And I did a little bit of Googling about that, and there isn't many. There's Dark Angel, former Triple A champion, was in WWE, now the senior producer in AEW. And I think that's a part of it. There needs to be that sort of like repetition of great female talents that go into that area to lead people like Julia Hart, Anna Jay, Ty Mello, forward in that sense. And I think that is a very good segue for us to move into your idea for the week.
Okay. Do
Let
you
me
want
just
to?
find my notes there, because my notes
I'll
are
tell you.
everywhere,
I'll
my
tell you
friend.
what. I'll tell you what, because I'm excited for this one, and I'm absolutely delighted with the response from everyone. So, anyone watching, listening, from the bottom of both of our hearts, thank you so much, because it is the interaction that we want from you. We want to use this platform to hear from you, to hear your favourites, and what would you do? What have you enjoyed? So just keep it coming. But before we really dive into it, we had a late entry this morning from your wife. I love this. Now I'm going to let you, if you've got it in front of you,
Oh,
read
mate.
your wife's out. But I have a question for you, and I don't want you or your wife to take this the wrong way. But is your wife's middle name, does it begin with the letter E?
It's Ella.
Okay, fine. Because I'm looking at this and all I can see is Vicky E. Dangerously.
Vicky, dangerously, I'm loving it, man. Pull it in.
Okay. So your wife's name is okay, and I hope you don't mind this. It's Vicky E. Skulls. Okay.
Yeah.
Vicky E. Dangerously.
I think we will adopt that, man. We'll adopt that as a new name in the house.
So when I get to meet Vicky E. Dangerously, she'll be wearing a trucker cap and a long leather jacket.
Yeah, we'll try our best, man. We'll try
All
our
right,
best.
yeah, okay,
What's
yeah,
gonna be
fine,
called?
okay.
Do you want me to read hers out then? So
Yeah,
I think Vicky's is quite interesting because it starts off with an opener that I wish I thought of.
so let's just go back.
The
Sorry,
rules
I
first.
don't think we introduced it enough. So just so no one loses track, we put a graphic out there this week for an all-female dream match card. We'll give you 6 slots, 6 matches only, all current active women's wrestlers from across the globe.
Yep.
So we gave it, we tweeted it out there, and the floor is yours. So for the next however long it takes, we're going to read out everyone that entered and the match cards. And forgive us, we're going to breeze through it, but we want to give everyone the shout out because we really appreciate the interaction. But we're going to start with Skullsy's wife, Vicky E. Dangerously, and the 6 matches that she went for.
I wish I thought about this one because it's just such a good opener. So her opener would be Piper Niven, okay, versus Nyla Rose. And hard hitting beast of a match. Her second match would be Charlotte versus Shayna Baszler. All right, great match. Now, her third match for me is good. Natalia Nepar versus Rhea Ripley.
Yeah.
Technical wrestling versus hard-hitting wrestling. Next match, 2 small people, but 2 very talented small people. Bliss versus Liv Morgan.
Yes.
Can't go wrong there, mate. You can't go wrong there. And then, do you know what? Number 5 is an interesting one because I think if we had a cage, it'd be more interesting. Sonya Deville versus Ronda Rousey. 2 lasses that are legit MMA stars as well. Okay, so that's quality in that element. And a main event, Saraya versus Becky Lynch. Winner, mate.
One of the greatest cards ever.
Do you know what, mate?
You know what? We need to give some of these listeners like all the money in the world to just go and book their shows. They're all shows because some of them are just incredible. We will reveal ours at the end, but definitely. At this point in time, and I would like you to forgive me if I miss anyone. I am reading it from my Twitter notifications because there was quite a lot and it was
loads.
Just not write it down, but Twitter notifications it, get through it. So I'm going to start from the latest and work myself down. So again, quick reminder, all female cards, 6 matches only. So Sky Creates, I think this is a second comment from Sky. So hey Sky, thanks for coming back. So opener, Lucia Lee versus Danny Luna.
Nice.
So Danny Luna has been featured. Big fan of Lucia, by the way. Kill Bill look is top tier, lovely human. Only met in passing once. Really, honestly, wish all the best. Billy Starks versus Lizzie Evo. Yeah, okay. I'm going to give you some money, Sky, to create this card. That's only match 2. Sapphire versus Harley Hudson. Have you seen what Harley's been doing recently?
Love Harley, yeah.
What I love. Maki Ito versus Shazza McKenzie.
Love a Shazza McKenzie. Love her. She was so good at. She fought Grace earlier in the year, and it was kind of good over in Australia.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I've got a lot of respect, a lot of time for Shazza. Nina Samuels versus Britt Baker.
That's nice.
Give
That's
that.
nice.
Give
Very
that.
nice.
And the main event, excuse me, because this is what I never thought of, but I want it. Okay. It's drinking out my Becky. Water. I went with water, so you've gone with Monster.
I've
Anyway,
gone with the unhealthy option, yeah.
it's less calories. That's the watermelon one, isn't it?
Yeah, 10 or 15 or something like that, yeah.
Banging choice.
The best one.
It's so good. And main event from Sky is Jamie Hayter versus Tonga.
I
Mate.
wish I thought of that.
Okay. I've got some Tonga merch. One of the loveliest, well-spoken, nicest humans I've ever met. I met at Progress, Wrestle Carnival. I've got two of her merch. She got the she released after Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. She released her like Tongaverse t-shirt.
That's cool.
It's just I wear it in the gym loads. I love Tonga. But Sky, thank you so much. Banging card. Moving on now. So we've got 3 pints. That might be me later. 3 points of articulation wrestling.
Shout out, by the way, great podcast. They are a toy podcast. They talk about all sorts of elements. Big up Wrestling Trader and Epic Toys.
Yeah, big up. We spoke about them off there, didn't we?
Yeah.
Great stuff, Wrestling Trader. Just on the toy section, I don't know if anyone's missed it. How weird is this? I've just had a notification from Sam, who I mentioned earlier on the show. She's just liked one of my posts, so I'll message her later to say she's got to keep an eye on this podcast because she got a shout out regarding Killer Kelly earlier. Wrestling Shop Live is coming back to Waterloo in London, either end of June, July time. I'm looking at going. And if you've missed the notifications, if you are a wrestling figure collector, get out to Wrestling Shop Live for I think 3-4 days.
Nice.
Take some money with you because spend some money. Anyway, 3 points of articulation wrestling kindly sent in their Dream Woman's card. Opening contest: Damage Control
Done
versus the Outcasts. God, we've missed some out, haven't we? Where we've done ours. Unbelievable. This one for me, I like these guys. Cora Jade versus Julia Hart. I'm done. I'm out. See you later. Cheers. Bye.
Mate, I already feel that mine's sort of really.
Yeah, I'm embarrassed to read mine out now, to be honest with you. 3, Trinity versus Oscar versus Mercedes Moné.
Nice.
Match number 4 is a dream women's card that could become a reality very, very soon. It is Trish Stratus versus Becky Lynch.
It's got to happen.
So it's happening probably very, very soon. Match 5. What is this? This is madness. Rhea Ripley versus Jordan Grace.
Done.
And I don't even know if I can repeat the main event because I'm breathless already. It is Bianca Belair versus Jade Cargill. What a card that is. Both that we've just read off. So good.
That main event what you just heard there, then you're talking about two of the strongest wrestlers, two of the most powerful wrestlers in women's wrestling.
I would travel across the world to watch that.
I'm not even lying. I would sell my children to see that. Literally, especially
and
the small one.
One of your children earlier, and you'd sell them.
Yeah, I'd sell him to watch that match. That'd be awesome, mate.
Yeah.
That'd be like once in a
lifetime. This, like, that's bad.
especially it's like, Daddy, you my favourite.
But it's women's professional wrestling, so it's absolutely fine. Scrolling through the tweets now, I've got to find some because busy few days. I've just found one actually about someone not agreeing with my lunch yesterday, which I really like tuna and cucumber sandwiches, but they clearly do not.
They don't know about the elite tier of sandwiches.
So bad what we find on here, isn't it? So I've got lovely human being here, Eddie Jade, pro wrestler, so at Eddie Jade PW. Okay, love this. I have to pronounce this right. She's fairly new on the scene. Aria Czech versus Helen Charlotte Campbell was the opener. So 2 names new to me. So drop your comments, tweet us with information on those 2, please.
Please do, because I like learning.
Yeah, that's what we're here for. Liv Morgan versus Emi Sakura. Yeah, I think
Nice.
we all need that, Eddie. We all need that. Harley Hudson versus Lizzie Evo. Absolutely.
Nice.
Wait for this one. Wait for this one. Jamie Hayter versus Bianca Belair.
Darn. Powerful women.
Oscar versus Thekla versus Julia versus Kyrie.
Darn.
4-way. You've mentioned Julia, so we're mates forever. And the main event, okay, love this. Love this. Mickey James versus Mercedes Moné. You know, we couldn't be far off that, you know. That could happen in this current universe that we live in.
Do you know what I like about that is because of the multiverse that Impact are in with New Japan Pro, that is like highly likely.
Highly, very highly likely.
I like that.
So and just have to forgive us as we're still learning things. So many notifications here, so that I've got to get through. I'm just trying to find the next one. Bear with. God, there's so many that have come in this week. I'm so grateful for everything we've done. In fact, what I'm going to do is I just had a like there from Vert Vixen as well. We were talking about.
Oh, darn, really?
Vixen. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so we were only talking about her probably about half an hour ago on the show. So much has been happening this week. So much good stuff. So, right.
So I've got in front of my face bit of a bitch. That's
Just done Eddie Jades.
Have you done that one? Yeah.
Yeah, I've now got Theory of a Demon. So at Superbad Theory has sent in Mickey James versus.
That's
Charlotte.
a good name, by the way. Just to add, that's a really good handle name.
Lovely human, actually. Always slides into my DMs. It's a guy, if you're wondering. Top human being. Yeah, Mickey James versus Charlotte. Rhea versus Beth. Yeah,
like.
Yeah, obviously we've touched on it recently. Trinity versus Bianca versus Sasha.
Darn.
Yeah,
that's elite level.
Bailey versus Trish. Yeah, I mean, I really hope we get there. And the main event, I like this. I like this controversial main event, but I know why. Penelope Ford versus Liv Morgan. I will say that Superbad Theory only sent 5 matches in, and that's absolutely fine. Doesn't matter. But his main event is Penelope Ford versus Liv Morgan. Love that.
That is nice. I've got in front of my face Rompile Bay. I can never say this.
Rompi Ballet. Yeah.
Rompi Ballet.
All the way from Italy. So that's our
nice.
Last week.
So shout out Major International.
Yeah.
So I'm loving this already. I mean, I can't pronounce the second one of the names, but we'll go with Masla Slamovic versus Giulia. I can never get it. Yeah, Julia. I can never say that properly.
It looks difficult to talk with you.
Well, it definitely is. And that in itself is a wow opener. Yeah. Okay. And then after that, you got Killer Kelly versus Rhea. Wow. That would be big. Piper Niven versus Diana Perazzo, big as well. You got Kylan King versus Bianca Belair. Wow, I like the sound of that one because they're about the same size as well. Kaylee Ray versus Mercedes Moné. Money. Yeah. And then you got Jamie versus Kyrie, and I think that in itself is a card and 10 half.
That is a card and a half. It's so solid. Just looking at it now. So if you've got any money over in Italy that you can spare, can you just either spend it on booking this card or send it this way so we can book it and we can invite you for front row seats?
Exactly. That's amazing. And then I have got Mary Elizabeth, which interestingly enough, just to let you know, that's my niece. Okay. Yeah. So she's a fan of women's wrestling like crazy, but I like hers a lot actually because it's Charlotte Flair versus Toni Storm, and that is a match, man. That is a match. In match 2, Natalia versus Alexa Bliss, which is very possible generally. That's just a good match in itself. And then we've got Jade Cargill versus Saraya, which I think might happen at some point, actually. I think really might happen. And then we've got Bianca versus Rhea. And again, that's very possible. Kairi Sane versus Mercedes Moné. And I think that's got to happen again. That's got to happen again.
They need more time. Yeah.
And then after that main event, and this is an interesting main event, I think, Liv Morgan versus Sonya Deville. And I know you're a Sonya Deville fan, so
I like that. I like that. Obviously, we've seen it with
yeah,
a lot on the line for Sonya at the time. It was SummerSlam, I think, wasn't it?
it
No,
was.
it wasn't. No, it was Mandy
I'm
Rose.
skipping.
Mandy Rose. So they've not met, if I'm correct, on a pay-per-view stage. So yeah, okay. I don't think we've forgotten anyone. Yeah, we have. Yeah, we have. I'm here. I've found more. So I do apologize. Riley, the NBF. Artemis versus Leah Raven.
Nice.
The She-Wolves versus the Uprising. Live, Laugh, Love versus Aluna Blue. Yeah, okay. A referee Laura Kate open challenge. Love this because Laura is a super talented UK referee. And then for the main event, just getting this right, we've got a triple threat champ v champ v champ. So representatives of wherever they are current champions. So Lana Austin, progress so far. Lizzie Evo, not sure where she's the champion at the moment. Please do forgive me, Lizzie. Versus LA Taylor. Now, LA Taylor is a champion, but I can't remember the name of the company. It's on the tip of my tongue.
It's on the mine as well because I was actually researching her this week. So
what a lovely human, by the way. Me and LA Taylor FaceTimed not long before. We're discussing things for 1310 Apparel, which won't go into detail because this is not the place for that. But we were discussing a lot of things, and we've stayed in touch since. But LA Taylor, just phenomenal. So yeah, Lana Austin, Lizzie Evo, LA Taylor, main event for that one. So guys, folks, and folkettes, I've been chucking that out a little bit. It's hard to just get off the tongue. Thank you so much for sending them all in. Again, apologies if we've missed anyone out. I don't think we have. We've gone through it all as best that we can on here. You've made notes. I have made notes, but it's not always easy to get them all. We'll make sure that if we have missed anyone out, we will give you a re-shout out in the next episode. But thank you again. Keep it up. Keep your eyes and ears. Everything we're going to do. But I think it's time to share ours.
Right, I'm gonna jump in first because I went a step further, didn't I? Okay.
We forgot one. We have forgot one.
Who's?
Sorry, you've just mentioned a step further. It came through on my WhatsApp, so that's
okay.
Why.
Oh yes.
So
this is great.
Yeah. So my friend Sam Pele just made his debut for a promotion. One of the nicest souls ever. Always messaging me, checking in. Likewise, what a lovely human being. His card opening contest: Harley Hudson versus Bianca Belair versus Jade Cargill versus Sky Smithson.
Nice.
Love how he's just chucking out Sky in there because Sky's doing phenomenal things. She also has a lovely jacket. I don't know if anyone's ever seen that on Progress with the rainbow and the Black Lives Matter. Just keep your eyes on that one. Match 2, Emma and Dakota Kai.
Nice.
LA Taylor and Leah Raven. Yeah, again, that's twice. Gia Adams versus Ruby Soho.
Nice.
Doing phenomenal things in the UK. Zelina Vega versus Julia. I think I'm put Julia in there against Zelina because he knows of my love for both of them. So cheers, bud. A 20-woman battle royal. Now,
why didn't we think of this, man?
We would text each other like this. Like my mate Sam just absolutely outdone both of us, if not everyone. And that isn't criticism. This is just genius booking. If you've got the money to get these 20 names on a show, amongst the other names I've just thrown out there, spend it, please. Okay, so Lily Winter, Tiffany Stratton, Kiara Hogan, Lana Austin, Tegan Knox,
nice,
Tonga, Alexis Falcon, Liv Morgan, Tam Nakano, Blair Davenport, big fan of Blair's work, Soraya, Kyrie, Wendy Chu, Angelina Love, Ivy, doing great things.
I love Ivy.
Shotzi, Isla Dawn, Alba Fire, and Tony Storm. Wow, I've just dropped my pen. Didn't mean to do that. That
I
was
mean,
so good. So good. I've not even given you the main event yet. You ready for this? Let's just get it out there. Let's just get it done. It's Lizzie Evo versus Io Sky. I'm just going to pick my pen up.
you're so good, man. That, do you know what the ability with that is? That is called creativity with 6 matches. You've literally got 40 wrestlers.
Pure madness.
Pure madness. Yeah, right. I went a step further. Oh, mate, I'm still not over that one there because that's just such a good pay-per-view. I mean, I would actually pay for that now. Good money to watch.
Get in to a venue and spend whatever money I have. I'm doing it.
Definitely.
While you're going to feed yours off, I've just found mine. So the floor.
Right.
Yours.
See, I wanted to go. So when I thought about this, I thought about when Josh messaged me last week saying about this. I thought my direct thing was Empowered NWA the few years ago. Mickey James put on this great pay per view, and I just thought if I'm going to do this, I'm going to go for everything. So I went big. So I went for referees, announcers, and producers. So the referees, Alison Leaf, Impact Wrestling, she's absolutely immense. And the second referee, I went with Jessica Carr, WWE, absolutely immense. Both great on Twitter as well. I went for announcers. I went for Velvet Sky. Velvet Sky.
It's all up here. It's all up here with Velvet.
She knows everything, and she's just great. She's doing great on NWA. Interesting one. I don't know if anybody's watching WOW, Women of Wrestling. Okay, all right, okay. And it's all women, American. It's a new product taken from an old product, but we've got April Mendez on there, AJ Lee, okay, as the other commentator. So I went with producers. I went with Dark Angel, AEW coach. Her name's Sarah Stock. She was also the tag team partner with Taylor Wilde. I went with producers. I went with Fit Finley, TJ Wilson as well. So I went for a back team as well. Okay, I know I'm probably going too far, but that's what I went with.
It's creative, and we love it.
That's what I needed. And I listened to Wilder as well. I put a lady producer in there as well. I say so, and one of her good friends. Opener, Kabuki Warriors versus Hayter and B. Presley.
Yeah.
That is a match that we all need to see. All of them wrestlers are multi-champions in everything. Great wrestlers. And Jamie Hayter and B. Presley had a nice little run in Stardom, didn't they? So it was good stuff. My second match would be Natalya Nephart, okay, versus Jordan Grace. Big match, technical match, in-ring talent would be insane. Yeah. It would be beautiful. My third match is something different. So my niece actually tweeted me and you this week that she likes death matches.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not talking about death matches with Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa. I'm talking about death matches. Okay. Mickey Knuckle, known as Moose in TNA. All right. ZZW, Mid-South, H2O, wrestler. She's still wrestling. Okay. And she's the queen of the death match versus Aja Kong. A goddess and a legend. She's 52 and she is still wrestling. I actually checked this out. Okay. 100% check this out. And death match right in the middle of the pay-per-view. Blood everywhere. So you can imagine how it would be after that.
Okay. Clean-up job would be unbelievable. Just not butting in. I saw a clip the other day of when Aja Kong was on a game show and Kota Ibushi was walking down the street.
I've seen this.
And whatever, they just chased him into a corner. They quickly behind him built up this small ring, and Aja Kong was just waiting. And it was Ibushi's face. The guy, awesome. Sorry, yeah, carry on.
No, that's fine, man. That's great because that's what you're offering with this match. Now, I went a bit different here, man. I went for in the middle. I went for a tag team match, and I went with the Renegade Twins. All right, you're going to realize over this podcast, these girls for me are what we need in tag wrestling. So, I mean, in the stance of Bella Twin element, in the stance of iconic element, they are that talented. Versus Charlie Evans, Australian. You should know who she is. I mean, she was with Steph DeLanda, tagged with her in New Nation and stuff like that. And Millie McKenzie, man. Okay, trained by Dung. If you're a British fan, you'll know who she is as well. Incredible wrestler.
Yeah.
Incredible wrestler.
Charlie Evans, by the way, met her at Fight Club Pro, actually, at the Dream Tag Team.
Oh, that's cool.
I don't think she's on the poster. She's not. Yeah, what a lovely human. What a lovely human. Yeah.
And I just think that'd be a nice match you would put about that time period. Now, I am looking for my co-main event. Listen to this one out. So I'm going with Mercedes Money because she is the CEO and she is money versus Taya Valkyrie, which, oh my God, she's incredible from Lucha Underground. WWE was disappointing, but Impact, and she's doing all right in AEW currently versus Thunder Rosa. And there is a logic why I put all three of these together. And I think you can connect them if you really think about this. Mercedes Money is Lucha trained. Okay. All right. She was trained by the guys from Lucha House Party. All right. She was involved with them later in her career. Taya Valkyrie is the Queen Rhea de Rhea Triple A champion. She is the best. And Thunder Rosa is a Mexican hard-hitting fighter. And I think this would be a match where you'd get chop after chop after chop. You'd get suplex after suplex. You'd find it hard. That'd be outside the ring, inside the ring, in the crowd, absolutely everywhere. And this would be a great opening for possibly the match that I want more in pro wrestling. Jade Cargill versus Camille. All right. These two are giants.
Yeah.
They are big, strong, powerful. You have got Jade, that's the modern day Goldberg, 490 day plus TBS champion versus Camille, the NWA world champion. And that's how my card would go, right? And for me, it's kind of sort of like it's dead average compared to everybody else's now. But it's super. It's
people have come in and blown us out the water, haven't they?
Like, murdered us, mate. Murdered us.
Mad. Like, just people have got great minds. People, but it also shows you what taste people have and what people are watching, and that's what we're here for. We want to learn what you love about the industry, what you love about women's professional wrestling. It's amazing.
Something I've noticed though through a lot of it, I think New Japan Pro is a story that every one of them that can tell, even mine in that sense, we can talk about. Actually, New Japan Pro and Stardom are a major part of this because, I mean, for me, Jamie Hayter and Brie, they made their names there, Aja Kong and stuff like that. For you, I can imagine there's going to be a fair few for you because you love New Japan, and a lot of other people there have said exactly the same thing. So go over, Josh, man. Give me it.
Hey, so I thought opening it with something quick. You know, what's going to just get your blood pumping. Oscar, Kairi, Io Sky, three-way dance.
Nice.
Now, I say three-way dance instead of triple threat because I want to go back to the ECW style where the first pinfall is elimination. So Oscar, Kairi, Io Sky, three-way dance to open my card. Then I'm taking it slightly different. Okay, Utami Hayashita versus Deonna Purrazzo.
Wow.
Deonna had to be on the card. Like, she had to be on my card. I spoke highly of her earlier, and there's no way she was going to be left off that. Then I went tag team match. Mercedes Moné and Bianca Belair versus Becky Lynch and Bayley. I just feel like getting four of the very best in the world, inside the ring, to be able to tell a story. That's what I'm looking for. So my money, Mercedes Moné, Bianca Belair versus Becky Lynch and Bayley. God, that's a lot of B's in there. So
yeah,
I was that. Match 4, I'm going tougher than $2 steak. I'm going slower knocker, and I'm chucking 3 of the biggest, strongest women in professional wrestling inside the same ring. I'm unleashing hell. Jordan Grace, Jade Cargill, and Rhea Ripley. Triple threat. So not three-way dance, triple threat. Okay. Just a hoss fight. Just a hoss fight. Match 5. Now, this is where I was torn. Where do I go? Do I go main event or do I go just below? So I might be throwing out double main event here, you know, like just like the Backlash did last week, and they said double main event, but actually it wasn't a double main event because the second main event match was nowhere near the main event. Anyway, run over. I blame you for this one because it's one that I wanted to see, but never really gave it the consideration. And we spoke about it on episode 1 last week. Jamie Hayter versus Soraya. We need it at All In.
And I didn't go with that at all.
I need it at All In. I need it on my card. So match 5, co-main event, Jamie Hayter versus Soraya. Get in my veins, please.
Nice.
And my main event, it is very, very biased. And apologies for that. And I should probably get a little bit of biasness out of me. But I'm sticking Julia in there against my absolute queen, who was never going to be left off this card. Not many people put her on theirs, but Charlotte Flair. Charlotte Flair main events. I told you last week, I can't replicate the woo. I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to point at my picture behind and go, woo. Yeah. Julia versus Charlotte Flair is my main event, and that is my 6th all-female dream card.
You know what the interesting thing about it is, from listening to absolutely everybody, it's so New Japan Pro Wrestling is probably Stardom and New Japan is probably the highlight of this whole entire experiment for me and you, actually, for everybody, because 99% of people mentioned somebody, and the other person, Jade Cargill, was mentioned a lot. Now that is super important for me, because I said to you honestly that she's potentially the Goldberg. All right. She's potentially, and do you know why she's real? The Goldberg, we didn't see half of them 100 of matches because they were on dark house shows. We've seen most of the Jades. So they're the two similarities we've got with everybody. I mean, the one that I like particularly with yours is, I think, the freeway dance. I mean, great idea. Absolutely great idea. And I also love Soraya versus Jamie. I think that's got to happen. It's just got to happen.
Has to. I think we'll get it. August 27th, All In.
I think it's leading there, man, with the Outcast storyline and sort of like the Britt Baker thing. I think it's the only thing. I think what's more interesting as well was where it's hinted that I think it's going to be the case. Soraya was being interviewed, on BBC Radio. Okay. And I only saw the clip because Zach Zodiac put it on. Zach Zodiac's her brother, just in case anybody didn't know who I'm talking about. And she drops into conversation that Zach's got his work visa now, or something along the lines of that, to come over to America to do some stuff in AEW. And Zach was like, oh, well, the horse is out of the bag now. So I'm thinking we are going to be seeing a lot more of the Knights. I think we're going to be seeing something big AEW is going to do with this as well.
I think so, mate. And guess what? We're going to be there. We're also going to be at Rev Pro day before. Huge
yes.
Which I'll touch on separately. But yeah, mate, this has been a lot of fun.
It's been long. I think we broke our rule as well.
You definitely broke a rule. Definitely on the board. We broke a rule that we were like strictly 40 minutes, nothing more. Yeah, we've ruined that. Looking at the time, and I'm thinking, right, food, Hoover.
I'm thinking food as well now, actually. But yeah, I mean, listen, guys. All right, if you've stayed around to watch the whole entire podcast or listen to the podcast, whatever you've done, thank you so much. If you've just popped in to listen to the pay-per-view bit, thank you so much. But me and Josh think this is an important subject, and we're passionate about it, and we want to reach out, and we want you guys to be involved as well. We're not sure what we're going to talk about next week yet, but it will be interesting.
We've always got brainstorm plans, it's there, and we may have something to announce as well. We may have something very special. We will leave for a later date, but all I can say is keep your eyes and ears peeled on both of our social medias. We can't say the social because we're keeping it very separate. We're just working together on it. But just to second what my good brother Scholesy said, then we just love what we're doing, and if you have stayed around for the whole whatever length of time that it has been, for the whole day that we've recorded, so grateful. And if you've popped in for 5-10 minutes, still as grateful as we'll ever be, because it means you've taken the time out of your life, your schedule, to just to listen to us chat our passion. So from me, 9 + 1 = 10. Peace.
And from Scholesy, peace.